You're listening to the Full Gambit podcast with J. Michael Phoenix. Straight talk. No BS. Inviting you to get off your ass and talk to somebody.
Is that cannon fire? Are we back in the pirate days? Oh, fireworks. That's what it is, because they're doing some celebration downtown. Don't worry, guys. We're not under attack. This is going to be a nice and easy one. Our friend Theos Vusis is somewhere enjoying some of that crypto money. I know this pump is, taking care of him. It's looking good on my portfolio.
He should come and give us not financial advice.
Not financial advice. But we are going to get into some advice. We may dabble into crypto. We may dabble into investment. But we're going to talk about that thing, that regret, that monkey on the back. I know a lot of people will be like, new year, new things, new me. I hate that. I like to have more realistic conversations. Things that you wish you knew when. When you were younger, when you wasn't married.
The list is long.
When you weren't
broke.
Oh man. So we're gonna get into some of those things. We're gonna play a little game. I think it's gonna be a nice light show. We're definitely gonna be able to dissect a lot of this into reels. And Toy and I, we go back. We go
way back.
Way back. We go way back. Like, I stole her.
Here we go.
Yeah, I literally stole her from her best friend to make her my best friend.
Best friend stealer.
That's what they call me. I'm a best friend stealer. If you want your friends, don't let them hang around me because I'm a cool dude. I got them thinking and looking at you sideways.
I give you props for that, yeah.
Right? And then if you want some tips, I'll probably lay it down on how I did it too. But
step by step,
step by step. One of the things is, as we look back, we're not relatively old, right? We're not old. We're
young at heart.
No, I think we're I don't even want to call us middle aged.
No, we reached that point yet.
I wouldn't call us middle aged. We're 85 babies, right? So we understand the struggle that didn't like kids who didn't have the internet, right? And had to go to the library and had to look up stuff on encyclopedias because there was no Google. There was no ChatGPT. There was no AI doing stuff.
Are we that far back? Because I remember the dial-up.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. We could remember those days. We could appreciate what AOL was, dial-up, MSN Messenger.
That was my friend.
MSN Messenger?
Yes.
Did you have one of those like weird long names with the symbols that made no sense?
No.
Did you have the butterflies and the
Maybe.
like? You were sad. That was ew.
What was your name? What was your handle?
My handle, if I remember correctly, it was a weird email. You know what it was? Remember when Ben Affleck did Daredevil?
Yeah. That
was one of my favorite comic book movies outside of Blade. So my first email address, I remember was daredevil@hotmail.com. You don't remember that?
I remember the movie, but not... You made it sound like your handle was going to be so cool. Granted, mine is worse, and I would rather not say.
Please say.
No.
For the fireworks that are going off in the background, hopefully you don't hear that, guys. What was your handle?
Okay, so this was around...
I don't use that email anymore, so if you send me any illicit pictures, I won't get it.
Do you even remember the password for that at all?
I do.
Well, you're better off than me, but... In grade 9 or 10, we had this clique in school, and it was
clique.
It was this weird thing for our class at that point in time.
Something stupid.
I admit it is gonna be. I can't even justify it.
The Juju Crew?
No,
that was us. That was grade class of 2002.
The Juju Crew, and
we
you
like
make fun.
We like Juju.
Like,
Juju is a fruit that it's like a very small miniature sour apple, like one of the that's what it looks like. Hopefully someone can put it on the screen so you know what it looks like. But that's what we just like, juju and hot sauce and black pepper.
Anyways.
I don't know why we started calling ourselves that, but it was dumb.
Your name might be slightly better than ours anyways. Even been making fun. So I don't even know who came up with the idea. It was like cats. And you just put whatever you associate with yourself with in front of cats. So cat? Like a pussy? Like a pussy cat? Our trend of thought was not that pervert, but
they call it pussycats.
Yeah,
there's a whole cartoon called Josie and the Pussycats.
But when you say it, it just sounds, I don't know.
Are you trying to be sexist because I'm a man and can't say the word pussy?
I'm not trying to be sexist. I'm saying the way that you said it, it made it seem like these perverted children, look where their mind went at that point in time.
That's probably where you were. You were like 9th graders. Like, I have no respect for 9th and 10th graders.
It wasn't my idea, but whoever, I cannot remember who came up with the idea.
Were you like kitty cat?
No. Take another guess. You got 2 more guesses.
So you weren't pussycat.
That would associate with you knowing me as a person.
Geeky cat.
No.
Well, you were quiet. You were very quiet. Not sly, because that would be just weird.
No, it was just
you know what a pervert, so it ain't gonna be pervert cat. It ain't gonna be pervert pussy.
Why would I even give myself that name?
Boy. What would... You're not a ginger, so I don't know what it would be.
It was weird. Like, it was Angel Cat.
Angel Cat?
Yes.
You think you're an angel?
It was Angel Cat. Let's be realistic. I'm sweet and innocent and lovable.
Barf.
What?
Absolutely barf. Angel Cat?
At that point in time, I thought it was the stuff.
What are some of the names that you remember outside of, like, what are your other friends were doing at the time?
Off the top of the dome, I think one was like maybe Scary Cat and Dark Cat. It was weird. Like, we had some weird names.
So it's fair to say that 20 plus years ago, we were absolutely stupid.
That is justified to say.
And I wish I was smarter. Like,
you cannot tell us back then that our ideas weren't the best things ever.
One thing I like about what we've done, and what people may not know, that we have, outside of our friendship, we've gone into business together. So you are one of the partners in the critically acclaimed, award-winning Boost Academy.
That's right.
That's right. That's
right. Let me pat myself on the back.
Right. So one thing I enjoy is now, I don't think I remembered how stupid our emails was, but we've gotten kids to put or create respectable emails and gotten them used to working with technology. So, hey, represent yourself properly. Instead of you being Angel Hair Debbie, hi, Deborah Johnson 01, or a class of like Deborah Johnson 2023 at gmail.com.
Yes, random fact is that when I finished with college and was applying for jobs at the bank.
You tried to use Angel Cat?
No, sir. I did not.
Oh my God.
I did not.
Like, if you did, you would be in the same category as a lot of people.
No.
Like a lot of I've seen a lot of weird emails in my time as a boss.
Granted, even working in the bank, I have seen weird emails, but at that point in time, I knew I cannot use this email that I had from my school. So that's when I just simplified it to Latoya _Hanna, blah, blah, blah. Because I could. And when I started working to the bank and going through conferences, so they do mentorships and all that, it was like the first thing is you have to have a professional email.
Right.
You cannot put something childish or something sexual. Who's going to take you serious?
Exactly. And one of the main things, one thing I wish I knew is how powerful of a social media platform LinkedIn is. Because one of the things that I used before I went fully into ownership is I would put, when LinkedIn came out, I was always a member. Mm-hmm. So I would slot any little achievement that I would have, and I made sure everything was, grammatically correct, XYZ. And they have a feature where you could turn your profile into a CV. So your CV is automatically up to date and you always could send it out and it's professional.
That's very convenient.
It's very, very convenient. And I think it's so underutilized because when you see so many young people struggling with email and cover letter creation and not realizing that also with that particular service and LinkedIn is that, and I wish I knew this earlier, that they have a lot of courses or free courses that you could do and you could build up skills. So if you are obviously computer literate, Microsoft skills, leadership courses, any little thing, you could add that as a skill. And when you upload it to your CV, you have all these things that are vetted by a respected social media platform that is business centric.
I did not know that.
And another tidbit for business owners out there, we almost exclusively get when we're recruiting for new teachers or positions, program facilitators, whatever, we look at the LinkedIn people first.
Why is that in particular?
I mean, I think you get a better crop to choose from. It's that assumption that everybody from LinkedIn is more serious, right?
True. It's a professional platform.
They take themselves seriously. So I wish I knew that coming into my early 20s, because I think I left not a lot of opportunities on the table because I did take a lot of opportunities and as I got them. But I think there was a lot of time wasted just running around trying to rock my brain about what to put on this particular resume. How do I customize this resume so I don't look too good for this job so I could just get it? Because, one of the main things here is that you don't want to look too overqualified, especially when you just looking for something to do. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's such a crock because regardless of you being overqualified, if you're qualified to do the job,
you're just qualified to do the job.
Why would you tell me I'm overqualified? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't get the job.
Well, the overqualified thing is a crock of shit because one of the things that they're trying to say is, I don't have a lot of money to pay you. And maybe it may be a respectful thing, like I'm not even going to try and waste your time. Because I only have minimum wage to offer, and obviously, but the people who have the bachelor's degree, now they don't even respect themselves. I've literally had 4 or 5 young people, I talk about like early 20s, that have attained their bachelor's degree during the interview process. And I asked a lot of people, because I don't like to cut corners. What do you want to make? Right? I want to hear what you value yourself as, regardless of what I could offer. Right? And a lot of people stumble, they don't know, or they say this. Just a little bit above minimum wage, that's all.
What?
I swear to you.
How many applicants have actually said that?
At least, and you could ask Shar if you don't believe me, at least 5. And every single time, I have stopped the interview and I said, listen, let me take this cap off. I do not ever want to hear, even if I didn't hire them, and none of the people that I've hired that are with us now said that to me. No. Okay. I don't ever want you to say that again. I don't want you ever to misrepresent yourself that way. You've worked hard for this piece of paper, this qualification. Don't you ever put yourself down to that level.
In that position to even say that.
No, absolutely not.
Because if you lowball yourself, obviously if it's someone who's going to take advantage, they're going to take advantage.
Yeah.
So if anything, I'm going to highball, and if we fall somewhere in the middle,
my thing is, go in. This is something that I wish I knew and I wish people told me. So if you didn't know this. Know your worth, stick to it, because someone is going to pay it.
This is true.
Right? Don't get discouraged by no, or I'm not there. Even if you know your worth and you're willing to negotiate to say meet in the middle, or hey, I could start here, but within a particular period of time, let's revisit here. Or can we have this here as a net? And based on how I perform, can we make this up with some sort of commission or bonus to bring me here? Always open up yourself for negotiation to improve your situation. But never, ever, ever, ever downplay your skill and your worth just to get a job. I wish I knew that.
A lot of people do, though. Because let's be realistic. When I first came out of college, I was almost to the point of moving away.
Mm-hmm. You mean going to the States?
Yeah.
You know how everybody...
Yes. You might as well make use of your American citizenship and go off to school. Why are you still here in the Bahamas? So I sent out resumes, went to interviews at PMH before for the administration office, and then sent it to the banking system. Right. And eventually I was like, after this, if this stuff falls through, I'm going. Lo and behold, I should get an interview at the bank.
Right.
Went for the first interview, passed it with flying colors, called me for a second interview. Went for the second interview, and that same day, they called me back for the third interview.
Right.
And after that, the same day, I got the job.
How did you present yourself in the interview, especially for the young ladies that watch the podcast and they're interviewing now? How did you present? What do you feel gave you the edge with that particular interview, male or female, whoever, I don't care.
Like you said, how you present yourself and confidence is key because that's what any employer is looking for. Even if you go and you're nervous, granted I was nervous, but when I stepped into that room, no one could have told me no one else was better for that job than me. It was like, what? Well, you have all the right answers and all that. You sure you ready for this position? Granted, it could be presentation is also key.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Exactly. So how you present yourself and the confidence that you exude during an interview is everything. Even if you don't have all the right answers. And always be a team player. They always want someone who is willing to learn and grow because each environment is different.
So you have to have a growth mindset for sure. And one of the things, people tend to rush. Like sometimes you could be overconfident, confident and overplay your hand. So take a minute, not the whole goddamn minute. Like don't count to 60. Like 1, 2,
They'll think something's wrong. Like
yeah, don't do that. Take time to gather, right? Understand the questions being asked and then answer. There's nothing wrong with pausing. And there's nothing wrong with showing your personality as long as it's not one of those personalities that like put people off.
Yeah.
Because people like to get a peek at the individual.
Who they're going to be working with.
I respect anybody that can answer my question. And don't forget eye contact. Look me dead in my eye and show me. I
feel like that would be so weird. You're in an interview and the interviewer's
you're
there, or
you're
looking down or looking to the side.
No, don't be fidgeting either.
It's weird. It would be weird.
Yeah, I wish I knew that.
That would turn me off.
I wish I knew that. And this segment, this particular podcast is for you. For you to go and improve yourself, to present yourself, to be better. I wish I knew that everybody that says, yeah, I got you, don't got you. Like, I wish I knew that early on.
Who's going to say, don't look this way because I don't have you. Go somewhere else.
I would appreciate that honesty.
Not everybody appreciates honesty. Not everybody can take honesty.
Not everybody's honest. And you have to understand, and I always tell people, when people show you who they are, believe it. If someone shows you their personality is that of a snake, believe they're a snake. Believe that they will bite you in your ass at some point in time if they get an opportunity. Because
Give me
they're
an
a snake.
example of someone being a snake. Because no one is going to outright show that to you unless they really don't care.
They do. They do it. They don't do it to you. They do it to other people. And we entertain toxic behavior for entertainment, especially in this day and age. So people show you who they are all the time. They won't show it to your face. But if they're comfortable showing you debauchery, showing you toxicity, showing you negativity and what they do to people that they call their friends, to you, trust you me. They will do the same thing to you if the opportunity presents itself. Hands down, 100% absolute life advice. Book it. Believe me.
That is true, and this is coming from the life coach, my life coach.
I'm your life coach?
Yes, we've told you this numerous times in our friend group.
Oh,
An actual shock.
cry.
My personal life coach.
You know what it is, though? I think at a certain point, I realized, and I wish I knew it earlier, that you have to be okay with being blunt and being honest and allowing who's for you to just be for you. Early on in my life, I had a lot of mask up, right? So I would mask my feelings. I would mask my emotions. I would mask my pain. I would just, in a way, just lie to the world, right? About everything, because that was just what it is. I wanted to make people happy. I wanted to make people comfortable with whatever facade worked for them. So I was a different person for so many different people. And it was absolutely fucking exhausting.
I can imagine.
It was exhausting. And I had a break and I was at the low. And you were there when I was at the low. And then when I broke myself and I said, you know what? When I put this egg back together, I'm not doing this anymore. If you can appreciate me for being a loudmouth, optimistic, pessimist, sarcastic, blunt instrument, if you could love me that way, I'm for you. If you don't like me that way, fuck you. Like, literally, nothing against you, but literally and utterly, fuck you. I don't care. I don't need you in my circle. Because I'm not looking for friends. At this age, if I vibe with you at this age, you're a really good person. If I like you at this age,
you're very direct.
You're solid. You're a blue chip person. If anybody out there wants to value themselves and figure out if you're good or not, come to me. You might have to pay a price for taking up my time, but I will tell you, because I could see it. And I try to keep my face clean as much as I can because that's all you have, right?
Because even if people put on masks and facades for each and every person they meet, eventually it's going to slip. You can't put that on and keep it up 24/7.
You'll be surprised how many people out there are walking around absolutely exhausted because they can't stop. Because they don't want to let people down. They worry so much about what people think about them, they don't value themselves. And I was trapped in that, and I wish I knew that earlier to break that cycle because I would have been a lot better off.
Especially if it's people who you just meet randomly through the day. Do you really care what their 1 cent is?
You would be surprised. You would be surprised how many people care about what people think. From their mothers, their fathers, their sisters, their brothers, their cousins, their aunts, their bosses, their co-workers, the random person. You would, and it's so sad. It's so sad.
In the case of family, obviously.
No, don't care. I don't care.
I know with you, yeah. But in the case of family, you have persons who don't want to disappoint. You have certain values from small. And if you said, oh, I did this and I feel my parents might feel a certain way, you're going to have that. It's automatically there, not for you, but
I'm a person.
At the same time,
I evolve. So shit changes. Case in point, I had an argument with a 70-year-old man.
Oh, God.
Right?
About what?
He was cursing at one of my students. And my guidance counselor, we were in a meeting, and she pulled me on and said, Mr. J, this person harassing the students. And I was absolutely livid because I've told him on numerous occasions, if my kids are maybe disturbing your peace, look for the adult. Don't talk to them directly and come to me. And this man, you know why he was upset? On their break, my kids sit outside on the bench and play dominoes.
And I guess they were entertaining themselves a little too loud.
No.
The
fact that the game is being played by students is a problem because the mentality hasn't changed. It's a barroom game.
How does that affect?
I know. He was so upset by that. And I was like, you are an absolute stupid jackass. You are stuck in your ideology that this is so taboo and nobody outside of a barroom. Literally he said that's a barroom game. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And I literally had to walk away because he was upsetting me to the point, like if he wasn't behind that fence,
the filter would have gone.
Literally, I would have forgotten my space, and I would have.
Thank goodness for the fence.
Yeah, and I walked away after he said something. I think he said, "Boy, I'll bludgeon you, right?" Or whatever. And I was like, "Are you serious? Like that's what you would do?"
How did that escalate from him complaining about a domino game?
Because he was cursing at the children, and I told him. He said, "Oh, come over then." And I said, okay, because he was up on his balcony and I was way down here. So I said, let's get face to face. And he would not come from behind that fence.
Oh my God.
Mind you, I'm a big dude. I'm like 270, right? So.
But regardless of that, so he was just randomly sitting on his porch, on his balcony,
smoking
and
a cigarette,
down.
and literally started cursing at kids. And there's one, and the kid that, I'm very protective of this one particular kid because, like, he does take on energy and emotion so much. He was so upset. He was so angry because here it is. He's doing his own little thing, right? Mm-hmm. And this older person is targeted him in his space.
And for no reason at all.
And for no reason. And I wish people would realize how much they affect other people and tone it down.
Some people don't realize that words cut so much deeper than you physically doing anything to
because you don't know what a person is going through at that particular point in time.
Exactly. That lingers and that could stay with a person for the rest of their life depending on what you say.
Yeah, definitely.
But people just like, oh, I said it.
And it is whatever. I don't care.
If you want to dwell on it, that's your problem.
That's something I wish I knew earlier as well. Because I could be a real hurtful person. I could literally... And you said this to me a couple of times. Mind fuck people.
At least you know.
Yeah, and I wish there's certain situations, looking back at it, that I wish I handled a lot better, with a lot more grace and poise, that I would have handled differently in this present body.
Okay, let me ask this question.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask for a very personal experience.
Okay.
Let's go for a more, let's say, on the comedic side, where you would have used your mastermind manipulation on someone.
You know the situation. You know the situation.
That's more personal. That's why we're not strained in that direction at all.
I mean, our little light-skinned friend.
Okay.
Right? It backfired on me because I didn't realize, like, how much romanticizing, like, I was dealing with. Because I was playing the long game, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't care about it now. It's like water under the bridge. Because it worked out in the end.
Everything worked out as it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I have 2 beautiful kids. I have a beautiful wife. I have a great family. And it is what it is, right? And yeah, but I was playing along with this situation. You hooked me up with. Like, you were a good wingman. You were good to me.
You're welcome.
Right? And we were playing this long game, and I was like, you know what? I am going to mind fuck this gal. This is like, I'm going to use my powers. And at one point, she was surprised that I was the bigger person to let her, I guess in a way, find herself and follow along. And a couple of weeks later, when it looked like shit was hitting the fan and it was the opportune time, and this is where I fucked up, I revealed my cards too quickly. Because I told her, I allowed you to go and play in a shallow pool. When you're ready to jump in the ocean and have depth, you know where to come. And I think
that your exact phrasing?
Basically. Remember, at this point, I had already put myself back together. So at this point, I am a person without filter. So I'm a very blunt instrument. You get what you get. At this point, because I had taken her on this ride, so she would have appreciated what I was saying. And through her emotions, she was angry that she realized that, yeah, I'm not sick. He did encourage me to do this. And he knew it was a bad situation. And he knew he was better. But anyway, just out of spite, I am
going the next way.
Exactly. And that ended up, and it was so sad because, like, I care about this person. I obviously want the best for this person, but I can't lead you and force you to drink. I could lead you to water. I could show you, but I can't force you to drink. And in this instance, I couldn't. So, unfortunately, they had to feel.
Unfortunately.
And that's where that mind injury backfired on me. But there are many instances where I paid huge dividends. Huge.
Well, I know that, but I only wanted your opinion on one.
Right. But, and, you know, I wish I knew the inner workings of my mind a long time ago as well, because I wasted so much time chasing people that I shouldn't have been chasing, that I could have put my efforts elsewhere. I wish that I knew when we were first looking at business, you and I, and we said, let's bring our friends or our clique along. I wish I knew back then that you can't take everybody with you. Can't. Sometimes, and I remember this, but I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's like, well, he's an actor that plays like mobster in every movie he is. And he says, sometimes you only need 2 to 3 like real motherfuckers and you could take over the world. And I look at, as bad as it is now, and I know people will be like, well, he's a rapist and he's a sex trafficker, whatever. Andrew Tate, and I see what he was able to do with his brother, right? And his cousin, and their very small group, and what they were able to build systematically over time, regardless of what you think about them. Yeah. Just look at what they were able to do as a unit. I wish I knew that back then.
If only we had the knowledge that we have now and we're, let's say, 18.
Hindsight is 20/20, you know. Hindsight is 20/20. But guess what? This doesn't have to be your mistake. So live from our experience.
Exactly.
And listen to these words and go there and conquer with your core. And how do you know who's your core, who's your real? Fall off for a second. Go to your lowest, or present that you're at your lowest. Who picks you up? Who rides with you? Who ensures that you pull through? Those are your riders.
And you'll realize just how few that is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't. Social media is one of the most dangerous innovations we've had. It's very useful for communication, marketing, sales, all that stuff. It's great for that, but don't get it twisted. Don't get that 300 people. Don't get all those birthday comments and wishes twisted.
So much friends.
When shit hits the fan and you're not posting your triumph of when you went low and then you came back and you get all those likes and comments, good for you and all that shit, no one gives a fuck. And you know what? It's not that they don't give a fuck about you. A lot of people running a race that you don't even know about. So sometimes you just have to forgive them for their selfishness. But the ones that can put their hands around you because they observe that you are going through that hard time at that particular point in time, they're the ones that really, really deserve your energy the most. So when they are in that situation, because life is a cycle and life is a circle, you should be able to reciprocate that in spades.
That's why you should have your core group of friends, which I do, and could count on one hand.
Yeah.
For people who not all the time you're going to be at 100% or have that optimism or that drive. And that's when the people around you pick you up and give you that focus back.
And the thing about it is not always this rah shit. Like it ain't like get that out of your mind. If you thinking about, oh, I need that person that's going to give me this pep talk, blah blah blah. Oh, damn. No. You need that realist that's going to come in your life without you saying a shit, that sits back and just watches you for a minute and be like, okay. You doing this, and this. You're fucking up. I know you're fucking up. You don't gotta tell me you're fucking up. And you could do this, and this. And this is how this is affecting you. Until they break and they are truthful with you, because sometimes people don't want to be burdens on their friends.
That is true. And how you mentioned putting on a facade. You might put on a happy face in front of people who've known you for years and who you know wouldn't put you down, but then you put on that facade, but then they know you so well, they'll be like, let's be real. What happened? Yeah. What's going on?
You have to keep those type of people around you. These, man, I see so many people, so many young people in toxic, fake, and I don't, you know what people say? Oh, only God could judge me. No, I can judge you too. Because you're in toxic relationships, friendships that don't mean nothing. Y'all need to curate your circles.
Those yes friends.
Oh,
you think they should do this? Yeah, man.
Say that again.
Yes, friends. Those aren't real friends.
Get them from around you. Not that you need naysayers and pessimists around you all the time, you know. But anybody that agrees with you just for agreeing with you sake, especially when you know you're wrong. Oh man. My wife hates my guts when because I don't pull any punches with her. I tell her when she's wrong, why she's wrong.
You should.
How she could be better. All this other stuff.
Now the question is, are you open to receive that back?
Sure, but okay. I'm always never wrong. And that's where my arrogance comes in, right? But for me, I self-audit myself. So in the terms that she's called me out, I'd be like, you know what? I see that. Let me fix this. Let me revalue myself. If it's something that I know that she would appreciate, definitely, of course.
As long as you know.
Yeah. I evolve every single day. Every day that I wake up, I'm a different person.
You never stop growing.
Exactly. Because you learn from the people around you. You should grow in your environment. And if you outgrow your environment, find a new one. Don't be afraid of reset. And that's what I wish I knew early on. People like to build these false senses of security, these security blankets, when opportunities will not always be in the environment that you built for yourself.
That is true.
Sometimes you have to break those walls down and move on to something else.
Sometimes you have to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation to grow from it.
But the thing about it is, growth comes from being uncomfortable. Think about a tree, the cycle of a tree. It starts as a seed. The exterior is hard. The life is on the inside. Mm-hmm. So in order for that tree to grow as a seed, right? The life is on the inside of the seed. You have to take that seed, put it in the ground, cover it with dirt, right? Then that dirt has to be wet. Then that wet dirt has to be heated up by the sun. Heat, uncomfortable, damp, dirty.
Then you have that barrier to break through.
You have to break through this barrier. And then you are prey to bugs. You are exposed to thunderstorms, to extreme heat waves, to people pissing on you. Being a tree ain't cool, bro. But it's necessary.
That builds that fighter mentality right there, what you need in life.
But that is gross. People will piss on you. People will try to mosh you down. Dirt will cover you. You will be in heated situations. But if you stick it out, if you learn and you adapt to your environment, you will grow. And if you will grow large enough hopefully, to cast shade and be a comfort and to add to the cycle of life, and then hopefully reproduce and create more life and be an imprint and a positive imprint on so many other people. I wish I knew earlier how valuable a positive word was for another person. I probably would have said more positive things to people that needed it at that point in time. I wish I knew back then how powerful intentional speech was and intentional thought. Like, we have a lot of power when we speak, but too many people speak negativity on themselves. And that is very problematic, especially in this today's age. And I see it so many times with young people. Oh, I'm not smart. I'm a dummy. I'm not beautiful. I'm so clumsy. I'm not good with money.
Do you think that's from external factors beating that into you at some point that you start to just repeat what is said to you on a regular basis?
I do think it's external factors. I think the people that are trusted, like I think that we have a lot of shitty parents. I think we have a lot of shitty parents that don't put it to their kids. I think we have a lot of shitty parents that allow technology to grow up their kids, right? So either you're saying it directly to them, being a horrible fucking person, or you're allowing them to grow up without your positivity because you're too busy with your career, right? Mm-hmm. To see them struggle and to intervene because you're a selfish piece of shit, right?
And that's why I hate social media. Social media and for young kids, YouTube to a certain extent.
And see, this is not safe for work because I'm going to say some things. This is how I feel, okay?
I mean, if it doesn't apply to you, you shouldn't take offense.
But you know, people. How dare he? How dare he
but
stand
like
on
you
his
said,
soapbox?
You have 0 F's to give.
I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And this is one of the reasons I love this podcast so much. I am free. I don't give a shit. But Urka, if you don't watch my shit on my Instagram reels, don't watch it. If you don't like it on YouTube, don't like it. You can fucking give me a thumbs down. I don't give a fuck. If you watch it and you mind, thanks for watching, motherfucker. Thanks for that watch. Like, I don't care. I'm not looking to become some big guru or whatever. I am literally just talking about my personal experience. I'm having conversation with my friends, people that I'm cool with, people that are interesting to me. Mm-hmm. And we're just talking. Like,
having a conversation.
Yeah. I'm just producing content and having a good conversation and learning something. And I wish I did this more. I remember I used to talk about it because I was in radio, mm-hmm. right? And I've made some big mistakes on radio. And I wish I didn't do it. I wish, like, a lot of people, and I wasn't fired from radio. I resigned.
Yeah, I know the situation.
And I dropped some F-bombs on the radio, right? Oh yeah.
I remember if I recall.
I used to slip a lot because I'm a candid, very candid person. And when I get away, like, I feel that cursing off, what do we call curse word expletives, are part of the English language.
That's how you express yourself,
right? And yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. They make it they call it the common tongue or whatever, but that's just social elites trying to look down on people and call them less than because they use those type of words. And I personally don't have any problem with it. But when I get carried away telling a story, like, it does shine, and I try to make sure when I'm in certain circles, obviously, because
you tune it down.
I definitely tune it down. But in the height, like, we were so good, man. Oh man, like, our morning show, me, Sino, and CRX, was so good.
I would listen to that on the way to work.
And I let some go, and we had some great fans, and they would cover up for us. Oh, they what? No, and we would. It was such a running joke. And I remember one time, and this is what I wish I knew earlier. And Sino was very good to me, man. Like, he brought me in. He gave me a voice. Like, he gave me a voice when I was putting myself back together. He didn't know that. Like when I was working on Atlantic Medical. Remember when I used to work the
I
security
remember
job?
you would call in.
Yeah, I would call in. He would always give me that opportunity to voice. He gave me a name, Dr. Phil, and he would just egg me on. And I remember when he went over the heart and he gave me my opportunity, and that's how it turned in. He fought for me and all that other stuff. And he was teaching me. But at that time, I had allowed in my head that level of arrogance to get to me, to be like, I know it now. I got it. I had that. And I remember, and I regret this to this day. We cool, like that's my boy still. Okay. You know what I mean? We good. Because he's influenced me in so many other ways as well. He said something to me, and I can't even remember. It was so stupid. We were off air. And I say, babe. And I cursed him out. Off air. And I put my thing down, and I walk out the studio, and I just left it. I didn't get fired for that. I should have.
Wow.
I should have gotten fired for that.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah. You know, this is like afterthought. I should have been fired for that. That would have been justified fireable. But my arrogance had pushed me to that point because I had bought into the hype too much. And I wish I didn't. And that's what I wish I knew back then. And I know it now.
I feel like some people
don't buy into hype, guys. Don't buy into it. You can always learn from people. And he was only trying to teach me something. And I got too big for my britches, and I regret that. So, you know, I said it, I've apologized before. This isn't like, just but I'm saying it now as I'm sorry for that. Because that wasn't justified. And if I had been fired, that would have been justifiable. Because I was very disrespectful.
You can be successful and have a lot of money or
but you should never
but you should always humble yourself.
You should never be disrespectful.
Yeah.
And one thing that I realized, money doesn't corrupt you, you know. People always talk about it. Money is the root of all evil and it brings out the worst in people and all that stuff.
It brings out your true self.
That is bullshit. Was always lurking. It does bring out your true self. You are more your true self, the more money you have. So if you're a shitty person, oh my God, you are going to be diabolical if you get some money and some power. But if you're a good person, you're a saint.
That isn't going to affect you at all.
No, you're going to help more people. If anything,
you're going to bless other people because you've been blessed.
And I wish I knew that earlier. And I wish, you know what I wish I knew earlier? Having dreams and aspirations isn't a fucking bad thing. Here's why I say that. We grew up in a society where we put so many limits on ourselves because we want secure. We want safe. Comfort. Nothing is safe. You can be, if the government fucks up their budget, they can lay off all type of government workers. The union ain't gonna save you.
But you know, that's the dream, to work for government.
Right? Nothing is safe. Even having your own business and being free, that comes with a lot of stress and people don't talk about it enough. It comes with a lot of stress. It comes with so much responsibility and accountability that it can drive you batty.
You know what that is.
And I wish I knew it earlier. I love it. I love the freedom. I love making an impact on people's lives. It's like a drug, right? But I wish I knew half of the shit I knew now.
Yeah, but like everything in life, you're going to have the good and the bad of it.
I wish I knew what money was and how to attain a lot of money, right? Money is debt. No, seriously. Money is debt. And to get a lot of money, you have to have a lot of debt and to apply that debt on assets and not fucking liabilities. Excuse me. Yeah. I just belch on my podcast. That's the first for that. Sorry, excuse me. I'm rude. Whew.
You're excused.
Thank you. I just there's so many things I wish I knew, but I am happy that I now have the opportunity to correct those mistakes within enough time to see those new seeds and those fruits and to reap those benefits. And also to have this particular platform to push this positivity out there for you to take advantage of. I wish in 2011, someone told me about Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but I wish I knew back then. I wish I knew.
Don't we all?
Early in 2021.
What are we talking
But
about?
Shibuino, I wish I knew early.
That was 2020. Even it released in 2020, right?
Yeah, it would have
Even
been
at the drop, after the hype, and then the drop.
It would have been like I didn't even wish it for 2020. I just wanted like an extra 4 weeks notice, like
a month
March.
or two, yeah.
Like give me March. I wish I knew then about that.
Man.
Oh my God, I would have been like I'd have been Elon Musk without buying Twitter. Like
just dollar signs all over the place. Just.
I wish I knew that. You know, I think I said this already. Like niggas ain't real. Like you can't trust most people.
No, you can't.
You can't trust most people.
And then at the same time, it depends on when these people come into your life. If they come in at the hype, everybody's your best friend.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, you figure out who's real
at the low
points
at the
in your
bottom
life.
with the red candles. So all my crypto people that understand those red candles, you get to know who those diamond hands are.
That low figure when you look in your wallet. Oh
my God.
Oh man.
Guys, listen to me. One thing I wish I knew earlier was what a valuable and real woman looked like. I chased a lot of chill, being a hoe, looking at the wrong things. You waste a lot of time and energy.
I don't even want to say it's because you're young and naive.
Yeah, it's because you're young and naive.
I mean,
you're ignorant.
Yeah, but
you don't know anything. You don't know better, and unfortunately, people hoard information. Right now, more people are, and I wish some people would shut the fuck up because they give it away too much information. But not enough people talk. Not enough people teach. Not enough people are willing to share. People aren't willing to make people their apprentices like that anymore because they're afraid of people. They're very insecure. Yes.
This is true.
I don't care. If you feel that you could be, like, I used to take people under my wing, teach them photography, teach them business in and out. I don't give a fuck if you're better than me.
I feel like someone's success, why would I be down or feel some type of way about
because you know what successful? You know what you could tell everybody? Boy, I learned that from Jay.
Your success is my success.
I am surprised today the amount of niggas that I look at, the young ones, the Manis and all, but you trying to be like you, dog. What the fuck you talking about? Like, I don't know what you talking about. I just hustling like you. So if you learn your hustle from me, okay, cool. I appreciate that.
But that just goes to show you reflecting as a person what you give out to other people.
Yeah.
So you reflect positivity and you teaching people to grow, and that's what they acknowledge. But if you always beating down someone, oh, that looks shitty. Excuse my language, but that looks shitty.
You're on a podcast, like no one cares.
But you know, I'm not a cursor like that. But
I'm a bad influence. I'm taking a Catholic girl and making her a sinner. Oh my God.
Why you had to divulge all that? But anyways.
What? That you're a Catholic and a sinner?
What?
Naughty.
Why we even repeating it again? But anyways, moving on.
Oh, hold on. You're ashamed of being a Catholic?
No, I'm not ashamed of being a Catholic.
So why can't I say that?
We going on a different route right now. We're talking about something else.
Come and convert me about the Lord Jesus Christ. Take me to church. I remember when you tried to hook me up with a church girl. That would have been an interesting situation if that had not happened.
But
she was a nice. I did, and she's a very nice person.
I was a good wing woman to you, you know.
You were. You put me onto some good stuff. You did put me onto some good stuff.
Still, working over me, but anyways.
I am taking you, Exumo, on a destination ride to one of the wealthiest keys in the island. If you don't come back with a white man or someone light-skinned or biracial, whose fault that is?
I can do my work.
Thank you. Make sure you have the button, like, a little open and
I don't need tips. I know exactly what to do.
Ooh. I wish I knew how spicy she was. But I think in retrospect, there's a lot of things that I think we wish we knew. And as we get older and more information becomes available to us, there are going to be more things that we wish we knew. So it's always going to be, don't think that you're going to reach a certain age, and I'm 37 and I'm not embarrassed about my age, that you're going to reach a certain number and say, you know what, I got this shit figured out. Because you will never, ever have this thing called life figured out.
It's always a learning curve.
It's always a learning curve. There's always something new. We are going to get into another form of innovation. So we went from, look at this roller coaster that we've been on in our lifetime. Actual research by text, modem, dial-up, right? The data infusion, so cellular and all this other stuff.
Those brick phones.
Super broadband. Now we get fiber, social media, and now virtual reality, AR, metaverse, Bitcoin, blockchain, and now AI.
Wow.
Like, that is such a huge shift in spectrum. I think our generation is poised to rule after like all the like wealthy people like die off. Like I waiting for them to just dead. Just to like be like a cockroach and just like scuttle and just work. Because we've been through so much, we've seen so much that we are poised. It's almost as if it's our birthright. And if we don't take advantage, it's pity on us. And I see so many people not taking advantage. I wish I knew that it was important to invest. Not save.
No, that's just
invest. And that's, I wish I knew that earlier.
What do you mean by putting your money in the bank and just letting this in my account?
Nothing. Because it's 0.0, like it's literally like negative money now.
Exactly.
Because they're taking away for fees. And
it's amazing how naive we were as kids. You know, the thousands and thousands of dollars where we would have been now. But like you said, it's hindsight now. But
we were indoctrinated wrong. Our parents who had a responsibility to show us the way, they were lost. I was surprised, like the other day I was talking to my mom about like money and investment. I was surprised she has some shares and some stuff. And I was like, nigga, where do you invest in? Like
you said, you're always learning.
Always learning. My mom was in her 50s. And I was like, I was very pleasantly surprised. I was very impressed. I told her I would buy some crypto on her behalf for her to have, because I'm the type of person, if it makes me money, I definitely want to see you shine, right? And man, I wish more people could be like that, and I wish I knew people weren't like that. I wish I knew. It sounds like a very sad song.
It is a very sad song because that percentage is very low, I believe. Even though we try to look for the best in people, but that percentage is very low.
Leave some people with positivity, Toya. Give them something to look forward to.
There's a lot to look forward to in life. But most of all, especially if you're starting out, I would say look for your core group of people. It doesn't have to be a bunch of people, like 10, 20 friends, because not everyone you meet is going to be your friend. Yeah. They're acquaintances. Right. So you look for, even if that's your one person who you can rely on. Yeah. Because that's very important, because you're going to have those ups and downs. You might have that drive and optimism that you need to succeed, but you're not always going to be at 100%. You're going to need that support system as well. Okay, that's cool. I'm going to leave you with this, guys. People say blood is thicker than water. But if you look at the world, water is more abundant. Good night.
Thanks for listening. And remember, one good conversation can shift the direction of change forever. Like, subscribe, and leave a review.